Hey guys, it is Tuesday, March 10th, 12:30 in the afternoon. I want to talk about trans assimilation. Assimilation, by definition, is the eradication of one's own traits and culture and identity, essentially. And when I think about assimilation for trans guys and the pull sometimes to participate and engage in these strict gender binaries, which by definition trans people are basically saying is bullshit, we I think we do a disservice to ourselves and to everyone around us. There was a couple of videos a few weeks ago that were about gestures, and since transitioning, are you more aware, more conscious of your gestures? Have you changed anything? Have you intentionally started engaging in different ways of communicating, verbally and non-verbally and so forth? And it really got me thinking about the idea of what it means to be a man in our society and the consequences, or even a woman, but the consequences of not acting the way that one is expected to act for their gender presentation. For a long time, the feminist movement has talked about the unbelievably restrictive and prescriptive boxes of gender expectations for women, and I think most of us are really, really aware of those things, in the sense of being not passive. Are aware of those things that are part of being a female: being passive, being loving, being caring, being the caregiver of children, stay-at-home mom. Excuse me, allergies, and those sorts of things. Yielding to their husband, the assumption that she's also heterosexual, and the idea to be masculine is to be strong and to be tough and to not cry and to not have emotions, and we are gendered in these sorts of ways from the very moment we are born, and our sex is announced based solely on our external genitalia, and therefore we are gendered. Excuse me. Maybe one more. We're gendered based on our sex identification. So with regards to trans guys, I think about how we have been gendered as female and socialized and learned to communicate as such, for the most part. There's exceptions to this. And when we transition, do we maintain and hold on to our ways of being, or do we assimilate into the mainstream male culture? And for me, my reference point is going to be white male culture, and step into the incredibly small box of what it means to be a man in North America. To be a more masculine communicator, I'm not going to communicate, I'm not going to talk with my hands, and I'm not going to have inflection in my voice, and I'm not going to cry, and I'm not going to show emotion and sensitivity to things, and I'm not going to hug other men, or I'm not going to hold eye contact, or all of these things that as trans men we by default are forced to think about and consider. Or do we choose to not subscribe to the restrictive gender scripts of what it means to be a man in this society, and come from a more natural, authentic, inclusive way of communicating and interacting, and take what was great about being gendered female and what is great about being male and create something that is different or more than the standard restrictive sorts of ways of being. So taking the positive for both feminine communication and demonstration, and masculine communication and demonstration, and not assimilating, not being forced to, or feeling like we have to act like a man in order to be seen and recognized as we really see ourselves and who we are in society at large. So I think that we as trans people universally have an incredible opportunity and advantage to really shift one's perspective and understanding of what it means to be a woman and what it means to be a man. And by refusing to engage in the restrictive and prescriptive behaviors and boxes of society at large, we have an opportunity to give permission to cisgender people to act in ways that are maybe really outside of their gender expectations, that is more humanitarian, more inclusive, more loving, more gentle, more um, just more open, less restrictive. So, yeah.